Are you dreaming big enough? I want you to dream big and act bigger. You see, I want to have power. I want to be empowered. Suddenly, being empowered is a more positive word, because I want to make sure that I know my own values, my boundaries. I know what I want to achieve in life. Visible and invisible barriers are only a problem if you accept them as such. So a woman with a big dream also needs to have a plan, because without a plan, that dream is just a wish.
I love her confidence, I love her charisma, and her positivity and her brightness and her color and her lessons about life. You know, as a woman who's been through so much, it was really, really inspiring and really interesting.
I had 4 kids in 2 years. I wanted to be a businesswoman. I had no money. I had to think, how is this dream going to happen? If you actually start believing if something's important to you, just back yourself. Back yourself despite what other people say. Successful people are not held back by what other people say.
I would recommend that for everybody, because everybody should have a dream and everybody should back themselves. So I think she's awesome.
Even when it feels like everything's not going to work, they go, you know what? I'm going to make sure that this does work. I'm going to be positive despite, because it brings energy, it brings opportunity. And as soon as you actually get half glass empty, your vision will start failing. I encourage you to start making your dreams a reality in business and in life. Thank you. About supporting women in business, owned businesses or employed, to create the life they dream of with confidence, passion and grit. I love that word. With years of experience in business and corporate, Joanne has faced many challenges and continues to strive for more and to be better. And I tell you what, I was even listening in on one of her lives today, and I just get inspired from hearing her every time she speaks. She's recently just gone about launching a new division of her business so that she can continue to empower people through the I've got to pronounce that properly, Global Business School, so women can feel really worthy and appreciated in their world. Her website is at the bottom for you to check her out while you're listening. She's at navigatebiz.com. That's enough from me. So welcome to our summit.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you. It's a delight to be here again on the Global Summit. So good.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would love to spend this time with you just asking you some questions. All right. So first of all, I would love you to share, this is a mindset shift type conference. So was there a specific point in your career where you experienced a real mindset shift, one that made you go, whoa, 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 whoa?
Yeah. No, I would say absolutely yes. And it happened in 2016, but it also then had me reflecting on other points in my life. It goes back to when I was 18. So in 2016, I had the sad occasion that I needed to liquidate my company, and I had 100 staff. And I remember the day clearly, in that we brought them all together and said, we need to close the business as of today. And whatever possessed me, but at the time I said to my staff, I said, so we've got 3 officers who can stay at no pay to help me empty my office. Do you know what? 90% of them stayed. And I just went, whoa, that was so unexpected. And I went, you know what? And I went up to the office and a bit of deep breathing going on. But the epiphany, the thing that had me realize was, wow, people are always watching. And I went, wow, that is just such a mindset shift for me, because I had no concept of that previously. I wasn't aware of that piece of information. Like literally that's nearly 7 years ago now, in 2023. And I went, wow, crikey. At the time I was 53 and thinking, wow, there's a lesson to be learned later in my life. But also, but it also had me thinking, really, I then went back and thought, well, where else have I had some epiphanies, but I haven't really quite connected with them? And I'm going to go way back to when I was 18. So I'd finished school at 18, totally different person to who I am today. And my dad, we lived on the Gold Coast, and this was in 1980. So it was a difficult drive to get from the Gold Coast to Brisbane. And I always wanted to go to university, and that was the only place that I could go. And my dad said no, which was, at the time, that was the way that I grew up. And, Dad said no, so it was a no. But the next thing he said was, you need to go and sit all the bank exams, go get yourself a job. You've got 2 weeks to go do that. Did that. In those days, you sat the bank exam every Saturday. I'm not sure if you remember that, but that was just a thing, right? You went and put your name down. You went and sat these exams. I went, oh, good, job done. And he went, well, no, now you need to ring every one of those branch managers until you get a job. Now, I was incredibly shy, super, super different to what I am today. But I did that, and I rang every branch manager. And the epiphany, the mindset shift that I had was, the day that I started work at the Commonwealth Bank at Burleigh Heads on the Gold Coast in 1980, the branch manager said to me, you didn't get the best score, but you were the one who persisted and kept calling. I went, whoa, what a message, what an epiphany. And on reflection, when as I said, I alluded to this, I didn't really connect with it until 2016. Many years later, what I realized I've been doing over the entire part of my career and my businesses were, if I needed something to change, who was it up to? Me.
Yeah.
Only me. Only me. Even in a career, if I wanted a promotion, if I wanted a pay rise, you can't sit there and wait. You have to look after you, right? You have to do this. So all those things and the successes and the promotions and all those sort of business decisions I made, I always knew the back of my head, it was only up to me. I'm the only one who can make this thing happen. That was a big one.
Huge. That is such a huge learning, right? That is a massive mindset shift, and how incredible. First of all, salute to you. What a testimony to you to have staff like that you had created a culture of total love and respect for you and the hard work that you had done to put into your business. So if you get 90% of people going, you know what, I'm going to stay with no pay because I'm just devastated about what happened to you, and that they did, incredible. So it shows the depth of your quality. It does. It gives me goosebumps actually, because it's such a privilege actually to have that position of power and influence. And when you don't actually realize it and you just kind of stand back, that's something that would just make me cry because it's so amazing. But it actually shows that those sort of work ethic sort of moments had built over those years, that you went, you've got to treat people well, you've got to, you've got to involve everybody, you've got to give them respect and love and support and acknowledgement, and all those fantastic qualities that I know you as a businesswoman have done in spades. I love what you shared there. Obviously your dad really wanted you to get a job, and also at the time, at those times that you resent that, going, oh, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't want to do that. I want that job just to come to me. Surely don't I just wait for it? Those listening in, this is a gold nugget for you to take away in this very first question that I've asked Joanne, that it is actually up to you. The amount of times that I have succeeded because the person goes, you just kept coming back. I love your passion. You're so tenacious. In other words, you're not the best. I'm not even
No.
sold out on your cause, but I can't say no to those sad eyes, or I can't say no to your passion or your heart on your sleeve, whatever it is. Oh my gosh, that's what actually makes magic happen. So write that down, everybody. Seriously, take the leap, make the effort, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. What happened then? You going to refresh what I'm just about to say. Every time you did it and you felt uncomfortable, how did you feel afterwards?
Oh, yay!
Yay, and more comfortable.
Yay! More comfortable.
More comfortable. By the 10th time, you're like, yeah, bring it on. Who do I need to
Bring
talk
it on. Like I had to ring every bank and every branch. It wasn't one phone call. It was, I don't know, 10, however many there were.
Everybody on the Gold Coast. So
Yes,
how
exactly.
has your mindset held you back then at times that you went, oh, I've actually, now I reflect back, I could have had massive shift and I didn't because my mindset wasn't there then.
Yeah. And this takes me back to the business that I ended up liquidating. So let's put a little bit of context around this. It was a registered training organization, and I know you're familiar with this space. In the 2014s, 15s, 16s, when Vet Fee Help was going gangbusters, we put together a program that I know didn't exist at the time. I charged 7 times the value of a standard diploma at the time, and using the Vet Fee Help. Because when they finished it, they got a diploma, a marketing strategy, and accounting advice. They got financial advice. They got a business plan, a website, and social media strategy created for them as a business owner. So it had a machine. It was going great guns. We had fantastic progression rates of 85%, whereas the industry at the time was 3%. It was a really terrible time for a lot of RTOs. But the piece that I remember vividly was towards the end of that business, there was some things going wrong. And I remember vividly getting up of a morning and going, oh, I really don't want to go to work. I do not want to go. I had all those butterflies in the tummy. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't listening to it because I remember thinking, oh, man, I cannot get off this wheel because it's too big. It's too hard to get off. And I know that I'm a huge believer in this. The universe just kept shoving things at me until Joanne went, okay, I get it. I need to make a really hard decision. And so that was 6 months of anguish. And I'll say to you, it was absolute anguish because I was really aware of how many staff I had, how many students I had, the suppliers, so many people involved in this business. It was an amazing business. It was hugely profitable. But there were some things in it that weren't going well. Government changed how the Vet Fee Help loans could be utilised and put barriers in there for good reasons or bad reasons. Like there were a lot of bad players in the space at the time. And I know categorically, after liquidating the business and then counselling and coaching and all those sort of things that I needed to do to repair me, on reflection, I went, oh gosh, there was lots of things that because I wasn't ready to deal with that, I was not thinking at it from the right perspective. It just created more anguish than I really should have exposed myself to. Absolutely. Happy to own it, right?
But yeah, you own it and you move on, and that's right. In hindsight, everything's easier. You see all the red flags, you see all the burnout, you see the overwhelm. But when you're in it, you're like, I can't stop swimming. I can't stop swimming. For those listening in, seriously, if you're at that stage, yes, that is actually normal. Most of us go through those stages, particularly when you've invested your blood, sweat, and tears.
The baby. Yeah.
How hard is it to then go, you know what, this baby is now just kind of grown up, it's evolved, I now need to release it. I need to either stop it, ideally sell it, someone else, hand it over, and then be able to start again, because then it brings all the, well, what's next? And particularly if something is profitable, it's very, very bold and brave to be able to do what you did. Joanne. So I really thank you for sharing that with us, because it is very, very hard to do, and I think that's great to be mindful of. So as a leader, what has been your biggest epiphany so far?
Well, it's certainly the epiphany on the day of closure, but what I am absolutely clear about now is what is not negotiable. For me, I spent a lot of time post-liquidation. As I said, this was late 2016, spent a lot of time on me, because I know the only way that I can move forward for me, for family, for my business is I need to get me right. I need to get up here right? Because you can't absorb new learning. You can't grow and develop as a person, I don't believe, unless you are ready to receive it. So, I guess the next biggest epiphany for me was to understand clearly what is not negotiable for Joanne. What is not negotiable when I do business with people, when I collaborate with people, when I create programs within the Navigate community. All those things are sitting around a set of values, a set of core purpose and mission frameworks that for me create it actually makes it easier, because when I have that framework, and I was literally looking at a video before we jumped into this that I recorded the other day, and really I see the core values of Joanne as my checklist. Does this opportunity align with that value? Well, yeah, great. That one, oh no, not that one either. Well, hang on. What are the consequences of me moving forward or not? And am I okay with them not aligning? Can I make it work? Or is actually it's a hard no? Or not yet. But it actually helps me to really, this is the biggest thing for me, is that I have a framework now that I can make really good decisions on.
And that framework comes from those past experiences that looking back and actually going, oh my gosh, I remember the time, I've learned so much, I'm not going to do that. So that's that quality improvement in yourself, and then aligning it. Actually, you've obviously done some more work then as well to be able to get into tapping into your intuition and how that intuition is now impacting your mindset and your decision making. And you mentioned in there aligning to your values. I'm big on that at the moment. If something just doesn't align to my values or my time and my energy or where I'm at, it could even be a good idea but not at the right time. You'll have noticed that kind of thing happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Then it makes it easier. And I've been meeting with quite a lot of clients lately who just go and say, other people make things look easy. And you go, it is easy once you get to a stage that you can have clarity around this framework. And so to have a woman like you going, I've just got a framework, that is that sense of empowerment. It took a long time to get there,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
A lot of along the way, and it's still evolving, but that is now helping you because you will have decisions every single day, right? Growing your business, your life, that you must be relying on that framework, Exactly. So what would be an example of that? How would you then go about something that you would then use that intuition or the framework that you have to go, this is how I actually go about it? Do you have
a really good example is I've had lots of business success in collaborations with other business owners, other businesses. Like a really good example is a collaboration with the Discern Global Business Group, which it's not on my screen today, but it's an organisation that is a university organisation that brings university degrees to Australia. And if you had asked me in May this year, Joanne, as a business owner, you need to do an MBA, I would have said, what absolute rubbish. There's no way I would have considered that. But I actually got given this opportunity, and then I actually listened to my own advice that I tell lots of people. I went and did the research. I looked at the size of the opportunity. I looked at their values. I looked at why they do what they do. And then I went, you know what? There's a lot of ticks here. The good thing is I know the owner, have known him for 18 years. And I went, you know what? By the fact that I am repurposing and reshaping Navigate, which I've spoken about before, it's been through a huge transformation. It now makes total sense. But without doing that homework, if you will, going to do the research, go and talk to people, I picked up the phone and said, if I had this and if it looked like that, what do you think? Oh, got some differing opinions. And I went, actually, you know what? With my pros and cons list, if you want to put it that way, it made it a really easy decision. I went, let's go have some fun. Let's do this thing. Right?
And you're now loving it. Absolutely loving it. Because I'm just seeing you beaming over the last few months. I'm in my zone. I'm in my happy place.
I've arrived. Look, I know today I've arrived home. I know that in my gut, head really deep.
Just the best. I've heard you mention your head, your heart, and your gut, right? So
Yeah.
can you explain that further to those listening in, that how do you actually, explore those three areas of your body, and why are they so important collectively?
Yeah. And I think, it's somewhat obvious. The head is what's the logical. So you go do the research, go make sure that you've got the data, because as a business owner, the best way you can make a decision is to have valid, good data. So the only way you can do it is go find it, go talk to people, go do the research, etc. The heart is, does it feel right? Does it give you joy or, excitement feelings, or does it give you, it's okay to be a bit nervous, right? A little bit fearful. I think that's actually not a bad thing. That I was on a call with somebody just last week, and we were talking about fear and fun fear. Fun fear is a bit like getting on that roller coaster and you're about to go, that's
I love fun fear.
yeah, that's great. So fear, I think, is a good thing, but if it's excitement fear, I think that's a good thing. But if it's in your tummy and it's going, I've got 1,000 butterflies here, I just can't sleep, I can't think, it could be that the money looks great and there's maybe a wonderful opportunity, but the values and how they speak and what they do and why they do what they do, or some of the terms of the contract, and you go, oh, there's some great compelling things here. So a lot of people make decisions based on, there's a massive financial impact for my business, a positive impact for my business. I'm going to do it for that reason. I get really quite fearful for people who do it for that reason, like people who start a business because they want lots of money.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great outcome, but there's so many layers to that. So for me, head, heart, and gut. Have I got the data? Does it feel right? Have I got good butterflies?
Mm-hmm. Good.
That's what it means to me.
Write that down, everybody, those listening in. Head, heart, and gut. I absolutely love that, because I remember when I was young, I was trained very much just use your head. Look at a situation, and you want to analyze the data, right? And that's probably, father was fairly academic, and it's like, look at the facts. What does the finances say? What's, your ability to do that? And pretty much if it's a good deal, then it's a good deal. But it wasn't that appreciation that it might be a great deal, but like you had in your story, that deal isn't working for you anymore, right? It didn't excite you. Like, for example, I was supposed to be a pharmacist. That's another backstory, but my dad was a pharmacist and I was supposed to become a pharmacist. I couldn't think of anything worse than hyperactive Annie working in one little shop, just doing that.
No.
Pharmacists, we need those pharmacists, but that is just not me. I knew it in my heart and my gut, immediately going, I just cannot see myself doing that. I think I'm going to go stir crazy, right? So it's really funny that sometimes you go, yeah, that's a good idea, but why is it a good idea? Because someone else thinks it's a good idea. It's probably going to be a good idea for them. The amount that comes from someone else's perception on something that they're trying to give you things that they'd like, or that was a way of thinking, but there was a lot of casualty there when you actually, nothing, you don't want to blame previous generations, but that was a part. Now we realize, here I am, Miss Heart Warrior, and so are you. The fact that you want to be working, if you're going to be spending all your time and energy and finances in it, you got to love it.
You got to love it.
I don't even want to like it. I want to love it, right? I want to go, oh my gosh, it instantly makes me smile. I want to be smiling, because otherwise it's just like, well, what else would make me smile? I want to enjoy my day. And other people pick up on that energy, right? It's like those who come into your world through Navigate, through Discern. They're like going, I just get attracted because Joanne not only knows the details, the content, has the experience, she's actually the real deal, right? They get attracted to that. And then that gut, I love the gut feeling, because I tell you what, your gut, I reckon, never changes. You know that.
Spot on. It is spot on.
Spot on.
Doesn't get it wrong.
You just go, you're that sort of thinking pit of, and now I feel really uncomfortable. Sometimes it really even creates physical responses.
Exactly.
Gastro-wise. And seriously, why do we choose to ignore that? It's just this, I think we need to spend more and more. Have you found that as you've got further in your career, you actually just go, you know what, it's almost like guts first. That
absolutely. And it's about me. So if Like, we all deserve joy. We all deserve to have joy in our life. And so why don't people proactively go and grab it? Maybe they're fearful that they're not good enough. Maybe they're fearful they don't have the skills. All these things are fixable, right?
Yeah.
All these things are fixable. And when, I come across a lot of people who go, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money. Well, excuse my French, but I call BS on that.
Yeah.
If you are committed enough to make a difference and make a change, you will find the time, you will find the resources to pay for it, right? Commitment, I think, is the thing that people don't commit to.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you've got the right level of commitment and you've done the research, it feels right this way, maybe you do it differently. Maybe you do it, keep the job and do something on the side whilst you build. There's different ways to skin a cat. You don't have to drop the job and put yourself into a whole place of anxiety because you can't pay for food. We're not suggesting that, but create and think openly about what is a different path. What if, like, I really love the question of what if I did it that way? What if I do it that way? What's the consequences?
That's right. No one's going to die. It's not the end of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. You bet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's because anyone who's traveled or you've, been to areas of the third world, when you don't have that luxury, I tell you what, you can make a business out of anything. You can make some money out of anything because you have an urgency. So I totally agree. And that's confronting for those listening in who go, oh, no, well, I don't. And I actually find that sort of offensive. I don't have that capacity. That's right. We've all got 24 hours a day and we all do. There are business opportunities everywhere. Is there a risk of embarrassment, failure, having to have that learning curve in that time, what other people will say? Yes, there is. But, I've seen in other areas that you can have businesses on pretty much anything because there is need. If you're that starving tomorrow, you will create a way. So I think a lot of it is that settling. It's that we have become comfortably uncomfortable. We've chosen to actually go, oh, well, this is probably okay. Whereas as soon as we actually go, you know what, it's actually not okay anymore. Oh my gosh, the urgency suddenly
changes.
And you go, it's going to have to change right now. Oh my goodness.
You bet.
Final words from you for our listeners on Mindset Magic. What's your final message to them on how they can actually create a massive shift? What should they do today?
Yeah, I think I know what works for me is and I like to use the word ritual. I don't like to use the word habit. Habit for me is something that happens by rote without thought. A ritual is something that you put awareness and purpose to. So my ritual every day is I get up at 5, I go and do meditation, and then I walk the dogs with my husband around Sanctuary Cove around the water. There is not a lot of conversation because water is my grounding thing, right? It prepares me for the day. When I don't do those things, don't have to be in that order, meditation can happen after, but when I don't do those things, and then come back to my desk. So I start work at about 7 most mornings. My first hour is learning. I always do something. If it's a podcast, it's a course I'm doing, some of that, all those things done in a row. If I don't do those, my day doesn't feel right. I don't feel as productive. So for me, I know this ritual is something that I need to be incredibly mindful about and purposeful about. And so for me, I would say to anybody listening, what is your ritual that's going to set you up for success? That's my question.
What a way to finish. I hope you're going to ponder that all day, everybody, and actually for the rest of the week and probably the rest of your life. What is actually going to set you up? Because you want to keep doing more and more of that. I absolutely think that is another gold nugget. So many gold nuggets coming out of Joanne Brooks today. A ritual over a habit. That is so true. Because the key word is there, intent. Is intentional behavior, intentional shifts, intentional ways that you're going to live your life so that you are actually going to rein in that successful future.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for sharing on our summit today. I look forward to having those listening in, definitely in the chat. Ask Joanne some questions. She will definitely come back to you. She's very happy to answer those. She's easy to find at navigatebiz.com. Also via Women's Biz Tribe. You'll find her there. Awesome to have you share again with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome. My name is Annie Gibbins, founder and CEO of Women's Biz Global. As a woman, a career executive and mum of 5, I know that becoming successful in a modern day society, it can be extremely difficult and challenging. The requirements of career and business success are often overwhelming, especially when you have competing priorities like family. But that does not mean that you can't be extraordinary. At Women's Biz Global, our goal is to educate, motivate, and elevate women so that they can have the freedom to live a life they love. It doesn't matter what your current status or position is. Your empowered future starts now. Whether you're a startup or a scale-up or you're juggling business, life, career, family, everything, we will teach you how to dominate in your niche area without the stress and overwhelm that comes from wasting time and money and energy. We will equip you to achieve success, balance, and happiness on your terms. We invite you to join Women's Biz Tribe. Start by attending Women's Biz events and enjoy the benefit of interacting with like-minded women from around the globe who are choosing to unapologetically play a bigger game. Women's Biz Coaching offers a variety of programs that may suit your needs. We have boot camps and webinars, online structured programs and incubators. They're all designed to help grow your personal and professional brand, confidence and support framework. Women's Biz Media will help you discover extraordinary women via our podcast, Memoirs of Successful Women, and reach 12 million potential readers via Women's Biz Magazine. Women's Biz Publishing will take all the pain away from getting your voice and message out into the world. Your brand value will literally skyrocket overnight. And if you would prefer to access our consulting services, I will personally ensure high value solutions are provided to meet your specific needs, to time, to budget, and all with a beaming smile. Finally, get to know our affiliate partners and learn how you might like to become one yourself. Women's Biz Global is the support network that will fast track your journey to success. So what are you waiting for? Be unapologetically you. Women's Biz Global, helping women succeed in business and life.